Yep, you're all good in the hood. Your ring light's perfect. Awesome. Looking sexy, looking bitchin', motherfucker.
Hey, I didn't do that. It was my girl who makes me do all this shit. Does that?
You know, that's what we have a woman for, you know, make us look pretty.
Hey, here we go.
Well, people think they're fucking around. Look at this 5-record CD set I found, bootlegged of Ratt.
Nice.
So I decided, look at this, perfectly packaged, really nice. 5 CDs of songs never heard of Ratt. How they got them, I don't know. But I'm going to release the same thing and fuck them.
Yeah,
wow.
Released it officially.
It's crazy.
I guarantee that comes from that must come from Japan. Japan are the best at doing this stuff.
Well, it's not. I think it's Europe, Germany, or Europe or something. Otherwise, there'd be Japanese all over. But anyway, I went through it, and I'm like, it ain't nothing like I got.
Right.
Nice.
New York City, January 19. Whoa, December '83, Long Beach Arena.
Wow.
The soundboard.
Hey, let's get right into this here, because I'm looking at the poster behind you, and you've got the original James Bond, Sean Connery. Oh yeah, and you're of course
from Spain or something.
And you're the original voice of Ratt. And I have said this, said this publicly millions of times. There are 2 bands in particular from the 80s that you cannot change the vocalist because it changes the band. Ratt, and of course, a great white Jack Russell. Well, Mötley, yeah. But Jack Russell, his voice is so unique, you can't fuck with that. And your voice is so unique, you can't fuck with that.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, that's interesting because Jack, I mean, fuck, all that guy's been through. He sings like a motherfucker still. I give him kudos, man.
I don't even know how he stands up on stage giving all his...
I know is that voice ain't going anywhere, you know. Even back in the day when they were Dante Fox doing the Troubadour with Mickey Ratt, I was like, whoa, we became friends back then. It's like, fuck, you sing like a crazy man, you know.
But, you know, as I say that, other truths are evident too. You know, Warren's sound is Ratt. Bobby's sound is Ratt. Talk to me about that. Where are we in all of this with these guys? Because you did that show in, I guess, April, the stream.
Yeah, Bobby came on the stream, and everybody got all hopeful for a reunion between the 2 you guys. And you know, what's the current state of all that?
The current state is, well, you know, Bobby came out and did the jam. I invited him out, and it's, you know, it's. You can call it being the instigator, but why not? You know, I mean, Mitch just said it right there, you know, I got to be clear, you know, I said it earlier, I hate bullshit in our audience thinking, you know, this is Ratt, you know, no disrespect to these other players coming and going, but it's getting kind of silly. And, you know, I'd rather be out doing my own thing until, you know, things come to order, or we can, you know, kind of take a step backwards and forwards and see what you got, because like you say, Bobby's the swing, you know, Juan is Juan, and
he's the dive bomb,
and Warren is, you know, definitely, you know, DeMartini, man, and rest in peace Robin is, you know, no matter who tries to replace him, it ain't never gonna fucking happen, right? So you know, that's so be it. So anyway, that's where it's at. Bobby came and jammed out, and he might sit in a couple of shows. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm opening the door, so we'll see what happens.
But you're opening the door to. You're opening the door to all those guys. You're ready and willing. You're like, guys, you know what? At this point, because I was saying to Mitch, you know, as a fan, you know, I look back and I'm not like really like super into everything, but it's like every time I see Ratt in the news, it's lawsuit this, lawsuit Ratt that. You know, Steven, Bobby, you know, all these guys, and it's like. The fact that you're being the good guy, saying like, guys, listen, let's just play some rock and roll, make some money, keep fans happy.
It's not being the good guy, believe me. It's being the business-minded guy, and having some respect for the legacy we leave. Because you know what, I'm on to other adventures in life, and you know, it's not like I love, you know, being on stage and this and that, but you know, look at, man, I'm Evel Knievel, you know. I'll give it a few more years of you know, having at it and enjoying myself, you know, when I want, not because I have to. I don't have to, you know. I just have a little bit more respect and integrity for my band Ratt, you know, and that's about it, you know. So, you know, and as the 80s scene is so popular and it ain't going anywhere, it's like this new thing. Everybody's waiting for it to end, you know. Well, it just goes to show how strong, clever, you know, huge.
By the way, it's amazing. You know,
these people made in the 80s, selling billions of records, you know, and it was this decade that'll never be, you know,
duplicated. No, it's just funny because our local Sony rep, you know, Stefan, he in the 90s, he was like, Mitch, that stuff's old. And I was like, no, I still love it. And then in the 2000s, Mitch, that's the old stuff. Give up on the Rats and the Warrants. We got Jet and the Strokes. And I was just like, yeah, fuck off. And here we are in 2021, and these bands are still here.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, it's who has staying power, you know. And I said it before. There's a lot of bands in the 80s that really didn't make it.
Right.
That are being played more than ever.
Yes.
That have the opportunity now because of this genre called the 80s hair metal. Call it what the fuck you want. I don't really care.
Do you get offended at hair metal?
Yeah, right. I just play, you know, you can call Rat and roll, this, that, but me, I just play music, you know. I'm from the 70s guy, you know, so, you know, it's just music to me, whether, you know, it's Zeppelin oriented or Sabbath oriented or Priest. And, but anyway, the decade is what it is. And, you know, it's like, you know, where are these 90s bands, you know?
They're nowhere.
Let's go. You know?
Listen, the stadium tour is Def Leppard, Mötley Crüe, Poison. I do not see any stadium tours with Everclear and what else? What Green? Like who else was in the 90s? You know, they're not happening.
Well, yeah,
Soul Asylum. There's no Soul Asylum stadium tour.
Yeah.
Fence Soul Asylum.
Well, no disrespect, but that you got a point there. No, it's not even nostalgic. It's like it's just this brings most of us back to a great place. You know, I mean, hey, as foolish as we were, or as smart and whatever, it's cool, and it's good that it's still refreshing, you know?
Yeah, but it's also great because you guys are getting, you know, I mean, you look, it's like me and my buddy, we were sitting at the gas station and we heard Round and Round the Geico commercial. We're like, dude, Rats, like, like on TV in 2020, 2021. It's like the staying power. And at the end of the day, it really just does come down to the songwriting because that's what it is. The songs just stand the test of time. You know what I mean? It's like,
and then,
you don't have the song, you're not going to be around.
And look, you know, it's funny because, you know, the videos we had to make, and it was such a new medium, and some of us look back and go, oh man, we look like whatever, and you know, the clothes but it was just what was happening, and
I thought it was awesome. I wish I was there.
Rat tried to do its own thing. I mean, we were constantly trying to turn the corner so nobody could, you know, we can be ourselves. And
let me ask you about that own thing, because you're the band that resisted the power ballad. You look at Mötley Crüe, Don't Go Away Mad, Home Sweet Home, you know, Nothing Else Matters, Metallica, Kiss Forever, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Rat never did that. Why?
Well, we got closer to my heart. Robin and I would give Robin some of these ideas of mine, and they turn into Closer to My Heart. So we went there. We just never pushed it. And I wish we would have with that one song I did with Diane Warren and Desmond.
Nobody Rides for Free?
No, Giving Yourself Away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And only Japan got notice of that, and it charted, and they made a video of us, half live, half, you know, conceptual kind of thing. It was cool, you know, but that's as far as we got. We didn't want to follow the trend. We never went on the TV shows. We never did any of that shit because we didn't think we had to, you know. It possibly hurt us in a way because, you know, but in the beginning, we didn't care to be poster boys in the first place. We wanted to go out and party and play music, you know.
Right. You just mentioned Desmond Child. So back in the day, what possessed you guys to go and bring in an outside songwriter like Desmond?
I don't know what possessed us. I mean, it wasn't all bad, but it wasn't, you know, like, oh, go write with somebody because they make hits. Well, shit. Rat in the first place never went to anybody. The minute we did, we had the worst selling records around. No disrespect. You know, these guys are brilliant writers, but that doesn't guarantee, you know, you're my angel. You know what I mean? I mean, fuck, I've written with everybody. Jim Valance for Arcade, and, you know, possibly even Rat, but, you know, Fredrickson and Mark, you know, this guy, and that guy, and it was crazy. You know, we were like, why are we doing this? And then sitting around a round table going, well, we like this song, we don't like that song. And we're like, go fuck yourselves, you know? So that's where that went.
Right. By the way, Jim Vallance, one of the greatest Canadian songwriters ever.
One of the best.
We love Jim.
You know?
Where are we? Oh, I love Jim. And he's doing that show out on Broadway, which is fantastic. Pretty Woman. Where are we in terms of new music? I've seen reports of 2 new albums, not just one, but 2, old school, like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Are they different albums in terms of musically? Like one is more pop and the other one is more metal, or are they just the same and there's just too many songs?
You hit it right on the head, but it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be kind of not a surprise, but you hit it right on the head. I've been writing so much on my own and putting little bits out there. You know, I could give a shit. You know, here's a riff. You know, check it out. I do play guitar. People don't think I do, and so you're right. Exactly what you say. One record is Eric and I. We already finished it like months ago, the writing. I mean, I can't wait to say, what else you got? Then he's going to give me 10 more songs. So I don't need that right now. We got one record ready to go, record. And then I figured, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do a special thing for the fans, you know, hardcore guys and people, and release a double vinyl. And the second record is just going to be me just writing what I used to write, like in Mötley Crüe, you know, just having at it, you know. I have a great time writing, and it's heavier stuff, you know. That's where Cheater, You Got It, Tell the World, In Your Direction, that all came from Mötley Crüe in 78, 79 and stuff, you know. So I want to get back to that. And that second part will be, you know, what it is, you know, exactly that. Very intuitive.
You think you might work with Jake E. Lee again?
I'd work with him anytime. I got to tell you though, you know, we're doing this, before you bring it up, we're doing this show in pre-production. It's kind of it's hard to explain, but it's legacies of rock people, and starting with the 80s genre. And this will be a part of that with the history, because I'm doing also a docu-series, 3-part, coming out on Asai TV next month. And I take you back to Rat Mansion West, something that we've never done before with Rat. And I take you through, you know, where the band started. We go to San Diego. I mean, I go to my accident scene. It's way involved. So it's going to be cool. And speaking of Jake, now this is it. I tell stories that never done, you know, in the book or any, you know, maybe not even in the next book. But I talk about Jake. I heard him say once that we've never really written music together. We co-wrote a song back when he was in the band in 82. And Matt Thorne, our bass player, the occasional Rat Bastard bass player, the guy rough cut, early Rat with Jake, told me, yeah, you guys co-wrote these tunes. So I'm going to get a hold of him actually and say, hey, let me refresh your memory. We in fact did write a song together. So there is a bit of trivia right there. I wouldn't mind working with Jake. Why not? He's a very talented guy, you know. He's a rat bastard always. Once a rat, always a rat bastard, man. You know?
I mean, think of him standing on the stage next to Warren DeMartini with Juan and Bobby there. That'd be fucking...
That'd be huge.
I think
that would be insane. I think that would... yeah, we'll curtail that one. Let me work on that.
You'll need 5 buses to get the tour going, but I think fans would love it.
Hold on, Mitch, I want to stop you there for a second. You just made a joke about 5 buses. Like, is there so much bad blood between you guys that, like, is it you just can't get along, or like what's the actual issue?
Well, look, it's not the first time I've said it, man. We're not the most dysfunctional band in the world. It's just that some of the shit the laundry just came out, and you know, that's not had to do with shit, but defend, you know, if you got to defend yourself. But look, it's like this, 36 years later, here we are, you know. Yeah. I mean, if that's what it takes to do business, that's what it takes. I mean, otherwise you're stupid, you're foolish. Why not? What else you got to do? Sit around and pick your ass, you know? You got a band, you got a career, you got this, you got that. You know, if you want it, you got to want it, you know. And
you put the bullshit to the side and you make it work.
Sure. And some people do it and some people don't. But we're not the most dysfunctional, but we're fucked up.
Yeah.
We don't actually really hate each other that much.
No, and that's the funny thing, because I've had a peek behind the curtain, and Juan has talked to Bobby, Bobby's talked to Juan, you talked to Bobby, Bobby talked to Warren. Like, everybody talks to each other for the last 25 years. And yet when it hits public media, it looks like it's totally crazy.
Yeah, tell you something, man. The bottom line is, look, it's like everybody knows there's a connection. That's why they talk shit on each other. It's like, well, if you're in a gang, you're in the gang. And we've always considered ourselves a gang. So, And
I really feel like, the bestest of friends are the ones that are always busting each other's balls. So it's,
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're correct.
So those two new albums, so one, like you said, is going to be popular, the other one's going to be sort of old school. Are they both coming out this year? Are they one this year, one next year? Okay, next year.
Yeah, next year. I mean, I'm going to need, as well as they're prepared, and we're very prepared when we go into the studio. Believe me, I crack a whip like Bo Hill. Next year, I'm looking to whatever it takes. I mean, it's great music, and I still like putting out music. I don't care what people say. People say, nobody gives a shit about a record. Nobody gives a shit.
I do.
What about if one of these songs is kind of cool and people dig it? I
hate bands that have given up on us. Yeah, and no offense to Aerosmith and the Kisses and stuff of the world, but it's like, dude, it's been 15 fucking years. Like, come on, give me something. Right. Give me something.
Yeah.
In terms,
I say the same thing when I asked for some songs a few years back. It's like, let's release some songs. Well, it takes too much time. It's this. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? You just write it. You just write a song. Round and Round is written with 2 cassette decks with 3 guys in a room. Give me a fucking break,
Right.
How do you record these? Is this live off the floor, or do you do the whole studio magic? Fly stuff in, fly stuff?
I am so old school. Here's my drum machine.
Oh, nice.
My drummer. And I still, even though I have a Leases, and then here's the Magic Guy. This has been around for
Jesus,
probably like 15 years.
How many demos have you done on that thing?
Many, and I have another deck over sitting right here on the desk.
That is literally older than you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
and it works.
Yeah,
I actually have a 2-track Tascam mono cassette recorder down here. I'm going to try to fire up.
Nice.
It's like 1972 or something.
Yeah, but I mean, how different is the recording process compared to when you're out doing Round and Round, or one of my favorite songs is "Lovin' You's a Dirty Job," and I was always curious how a song like that comes up. Does it start with the guitar lick, or somebody have a melody, and then how do you guys actually record that? Like, tell me the story behind that.
That's the second time that song has been brought up, how it was written. I just answered that. That's Warren coming in with a riff, and it just so happened Bo Hill liked it and turned it into a song. A lot of these lyrics, I'd like to claim are from me, but they're not, and it's okay. If I want my lyrics heard, they'll be heard. So
right.
I kind of went with it, and it's cool, but it starts with a Warren riff, as most of our songs do. I'm probably, I tend to bring in whole songs to the band always since day one. Here's a song, I got everything's written. But when you get us all collectively, when you got us collectively in a room, then it's that easy. When Robin and Warren and I would sit around, and just with tape decks. I mean, nothing's changed. I have 2 small great amps over here, and I just do it. And when it comes time to getting serious, well, I go to a studio, and do the real deal. And so, but nothing's changed.
Would you guys cut that stuff live off the floor, or was it, he'd go and do the drum track and then guitars would be overdubbed and bass, or was it like a band on the floor doing the thing?
Oh, for Ratt early on?
Yeah.
No, we would always go into pre-production, and do it live. Like, to when you go into the studio, you're prepared. With Bo Hill, you had to be prepared, and that's just it.
Let me just ask you this: you mentioned briefly in passing the accident from years ago.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you at the Brass Monkey in Ottawa, at the end of the show, your knees were in such pain that the big bouncer Dion literally had to carry you up the stairs to the bus. How bad is it now? Because as we age, and look, trust me, my shoulders hurt, my back hurts, my shit hurts just naturally.
Yeah, right.
Without an accident. How are you doing?
Well, I'm beat up. It takes a bit to get up, but I'm not down and out. I mean, my knees are great. Actually, both of them were fixed, and inevitably one blows out, the other blows out, and except the second one, when it blew out, it got infected. I got a staph infection, so that was a whole nother ball game. That was called IV through the heart, shooting antibiotics in for 8 weeks.
Jeez,
damn.
Or thanks, Christy, for shooting it in there, but. It was heavy, but I'm great. I feel better. I don't know why I keep getting these chances or what else I need to prove, but obviously something. So, I deal with it. The only thing that bothers my body is people that give me a headache.
Yeah, because like I said, we see Jack Russell out there, and the voice is still there, but the poor guy sometimes seems like he's going to fall over. And I love Jack, but you're not at that point though. You're still kicking.
Oh yeah, I'm good to go.
How's your voice holding?
I just have to take it easy out there. I have a tendency on stage to want to get a little too out there. And this last show we did, solo show, there was so much crap on the stage. I'm thinking, man, needs to be stage production here, because somebody will end up, falling over, because it always happens to a singer, guys. Once in our career, you're gonna take a shit up there because of somebody else's bullshit.
Yep.
Or stumble over a monitor or something.
Listen, that's why D. Snyder has a taped carpet for where he's gonna sing, so there's none of this slip and slide shit going on.
Yeah. Smart. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a smart man.
Steven, I want to ask you. I've seen a couple of. We've been talking to a lot of bands about this recently, and it's sort of the backing track debate. And I'm really curious, how's your voice holding up? And are you guys like playing the tracks live, and would you consider doing that?
No, we never have. I never would. I actually made a statement, and it got taken way out of context and control.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what's going on here?
And all I did was say that you would never catch us having done that or doing it. And look, to each his own. I don't believe in it, but when the guy's pulling away from a mic and it's still shit's going on, and backup guys, and it's kind of, I'm old school, like I say, you get out there and do it. You're gonna suck sometimes, and you're gonna be okay sometimes. And with me, usually when I think I'm having my worst day is probably my best show vocally, and I tend to have a voice that it just, I don't worry about it. I just see what happens. I turn the switch on and that guy goes out there and sings. But I wouldn't think of it. No way. But like I say, to each his own, to get the job done, and it's business.
Yeah, I mean, I get both arguments. You big arena act, you're paying $300 for a ticket. You want it to be perfect. I get that. But at the same time, I get the argument of, it's got to be dirty, it's got to be rock and roll, and there's got to be feedback, so that you're paying for a live show. I like that.
Well, it's
like I when I saw Zeppelin in '73 twice in 1 week, and in San Diego, and they weren't the same. Totally opposite evenings, the ebb and flow of it,
and that's what's cool about it.
And then I see him at 75, right? Totally different. And so, I'd go see Alice Cooper, Blue Oyster Cult, all these great bands.
Cheap Trick.
Forget it. Van Halen, whatever. I didn't, it is what it is. That's where I learned to do what I do. Right. I didn't want to be a singer in the first place. I want to be a guitar player. So, I kind of got into this by default, and I just went with it.
You were in a band with Jakey Lee and Warren. It's kind of hard to compete.
Yeah, right. And that's why Jakey split, because he didn't want to be in a 2-guitar band. I don't know, right. Or we didn't like each other. Who knows? But yeah. And so, hey, I find that an odd thing. We wouldn't do so.
I always go to as many shows as I can on a tour, and you go see a band 3, 4, 5 times. And when you go see a Metallica or a Cheap Trick, you get 5 different shows, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And there are some bands you go, okay, it's 9:06. Here comes the cymbal. Perfect. And 9, and you're like,
Same Love Gun from Ottawa as in Boise,
so you're like, okay, maybe I just go once for this band. I don't need for, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, age reaches own. I mean, but I used to see these bands, and that's what I grew up on, and Sabbath, and I mean, it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be Clockwork Orange, not Clockwork,
Right.
Anyway, that's
no hidden keyboard player at a Stephen Pearcy show. Nobody under the stage.
At one time we dabbled in keyboards with Ratt. Oh,
really?
I gotta tell you, the lessons you learn in life,
Who did you have? Did you have the?
Let's move on.
Shall we?
That's funny.
But they also had they had Michael Schenker in the band for a while. You know that?
Yeah, we did. And he'd come out halfway through the set, and I even played guitar halfway through the set until I took a nosedive and blew out the first knee.
There's footage floating around on YouTube of you singing. But you're singing the UFO songs. It's so great.
Oh yeah, that stuff. Oh, with Michael Schenker. Oh
yeah. You're doing Lights Out. Is it Lights Out? That's fun.
Yeah, for me, that was a highlight of the evening because Mickey Ratt used to play that back in the day. It's one of the songs you have to learn, and getting going. It wasn't My Sharona. It was fucking, and it wasn't Don't Fear the Reaper either. It was Career of Evil and, the good shit,
Yeah. So, all right. So we've got the 2 new albums. You're going out on with the solo band. What else?
Rat Bastards are out there.
Rat Bastards with Eric.
With Eric Ferentinos always, and Frankie Wilsey, Jerry Montana. He was in Hell Yeah, dancing, and he's brutal. And it was Scotty was sitting in Coogie. We got Joaquin, another Rat Bastard. That's the best thing about my solo trip is I once a Rat Bastard always, and I can just give a hey, you wanna hang, and sure. And that's the way it goes.
You just seem like you're down to celebrate the history of the band, and it's just really cool.
We're just having a good time. I'll play around. I love that song. I'll play obscure stuff. I'll play a Zeppelin, a Priest, whatever suits me that day,
Let's get Robbie Crane to come out for a couple of shows too. We love Robbie.
Yeah. I just ran into him. He was cool, touching bass.
Yeah, he's playing in Warrant right now.
Touching base with him.
I'm gonna wrap up here. Let me just quickly go with the album that I love, and people always debate me on this, but I still think Dancing Undercover is one of your greatest albums. I just love it from top to bottom.
Well, you know what? When we were doing that record, I got to say, we really wanted to switch gears. And I was surprised that even Warren was into it. Let's make her try a record. Let's try to get, we've always tried to go back into the EP vibe. And that was one record that, almost did it. I presented Drive Me Crazy. And I was, trying to come up with some heavy shit, but I like it too. It's a great record. It's a great record.
It's a great melodic record.
My favorite album is Detonator, man. Like I said, Loving You's a Dirty. The production on the album, the cannonball snare, it's just so well mixed. It sounds so good.
Yeah, was that Bo Hill? Who was that? That
was
hold on, I'll get that.
Desmond Child and Arthur Payson, I think.
Yeah, it was Walter Payson. Yeah. Okay, I had that wrong. Yeah. Wait, cool.
By the way, John Bon Jovi was credited as singing backing vocals on Heads I Win, Tails I Lose. How did that happen?
It just happened. I don't know, man. Look, he kicked as a bone, and Robin wasn't in the studio that much on that record, which sucked. And he brought him in, and it was cool, man. I got some funny pictures of us fucking around the studio, but he came in there and yodeled, and that was cool, man. Throw us a bone for making him so fucking huge.
Well, let me ask you that. When Bon Jovi was opening for Ratt, did you walk out every night going, oh, fuck, this band's got... Because you can tell sometimes. You see a band, you go, no.
You know what we did? with any band that opened up for us, who gave a shit if they got more popularity or more whatever. We were doing business. That's called grab a hot opening act. And that's why Ratt opened up for Ozzy after Mötley. And that's why Ratt opened up for Billy Squier. And that's why it was over then. It was like, these guys need to be headlining their own trip. So you learn. And I learned, you know, we learned earlier on, grab a great opening act. I mean, look, there's a story I'm going to tell about Poison. And it's crazy because I used to go out with a videotape off tour, right? Ended up at a party at some apartment with Brett, Ricky the drummer, his sister, me and a security guy, Phil. And I got this camera going, and they were still a club band. I used to go out a lot, and I'd tell Robin, man, there's this band, you know, they might be blowing up, or, you know, tell our manager, you know, think about an opening act, you know, or somebody would say, hey, can my band open up for you? Well, let me see what we can do. And I would kick them a bone, have them open up at a show, third tier, fourth tier, whatever. And the story about Poison is I videotaped the party at 3 a.m. and no shit, we're doing blow, they're doing blow, tiddlywinks, booze. I mean, and Brett's going, God, can my band open up for you? I mean, literally, this is on tape. And this goes on for about an hour or so. And what's funny is years ago, I might as well tell the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really cool.
Get a little press right here. I went to each one of those guys and I said, do you know I have a videotape of you back in the early days you guys might want just to have in your, you know, for your next whatever Poison
archive release.
Yeah, right. Or I'm going to put this in the long form or something. And they all said no. So I was like, what? Do you know what this is on this tape? There's like cocaine, alcohol. There's like, you know, you're just wouldn't stop on asking me to open up for Ratt until I finally gave in. And then they started, you know, they opened up for Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick opened up for Ratt. And they, you know, they were blowing up and we made a great call. You know, it was great. Yeah. You know, sell the tickets. What the fuck do I care? It's just more money for me, you know. It's bigger, better business. So anyway, this tape, the infamous VHS tape. And to this day, I still wonder why they never wanted it. Now it's going to come out, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's honestly, you know what? Listen, at the end of the day, everybody knew that was going down in the scene regardless. And it's like,
yeah, that's not the partying was the bullshit. It was the fact that, you know, and then,
it's just so cool,
and then I'm still waiting for the gold record that if they ever got one, you know, for opening up for us. So there it is again, you know.
So we can thank Stephen Pearcy for Ratt.
For Poison.
For Poison. Yeah, for Poison.
We won't take responsibility. I mean, that's called the 80s scene.
Take the credit.
You know, I mean, everybody was being signed. They just got lucky and, you know, not lucky. I mean, I don't know what the fuck. Who cares? Who cares?
Listen, anyway, Ratt was in the arenas and they put a lot of great bands in front of them. They put Bon Jovi, Poison, and a bunch of others. They contributed.
And it was good to go, hey, we like Queensryche. Let them open up for, hey, we like Joan Jett. We like Lita Ford. You know, we like it. When you have that opportunity, you try to be cool, but still you have to be business minded and say, don't step on my shit. You know? So there it is. So no.
Would you still give the opening band full PA and lights, or were you guys stingy about that?
Fuck no, of course not. And that's something I learned from Van Halen, you know, but they there you go. Yeah.
You get 4 feet at the front of the stage and no lights.
Well, if you have a big production, you get what you get, you know. We've
That's
been
funny.
there, believe me. Ratt's been there opening up for everybody and anybody just to play, you know.
Was it hard to open up for Van Halen?
You know what? We only played with Van Halen once, and at least we got to do it probably about 5 years before Ed passed, a couple of years back. At least we got to play one show with them because I used to always give them shit, you know. How come we can't fucking play with you, you know? Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? At least we got to do it once at a festival.
Yeah. Listen, I never got to open for Van Halen, so.
The same with Aerosmith. We only got to open up for Aerosmith once too, and that was in Spain, I believe.
That would be a really great bill. Aerosmith and Ratt, come on.
No, that would not happen with Warren on guitar.
No.
All right, here. Final questions on this stuff. Is it disappointing sometimes that some of the bands that have made it, that are still doing the stadiums, the Bon Jovi's, the Def Leppard, that they don't bring you guys out as openers? Did you sort of go, hey, we're all in the scene together, what about us?
No, I don't give a shit. Okay, you know, maybe they're intimidated. I don't know, but you don't put Ratt, the original Ratt, in front of anybody. You know, we just didn't go for that bullshit, especially when Robin was in the band. You know, nowadays we don't need a you know, it's all good if there was something down, but
yeah. Well, look at this. I mean,
I don't sit around losing sleep.
Well, if Def Leppard called you tomorrow and said, listen, the stadium tour at Mötley's not happening, Vince is too out of shape, it's not going to work. Rats, are you guys available? Can we get the guys back together? Come join the stadium tour, Bill. Would you be able to get it together?
I'd say how much, and then I'd say probably yes or no.
And if the number was good enough,
maybe if I felt like it. I mean, it depends on, you know. I mean, like I say, I'm gonna a couple more years, 2-3 years. You know, I'm gonna kind of kick back a bit and work on other things. So I could give a shit. You know, we've been very blessed and humbled and blessed, and so it is what it is.
What are we looking at? 40 years, right? When did you start? 81, 82?
Well, realistically, with the original guys, I'd say early 83, late 82, early 83. Yeah.
Now we got to do something for the 40th anniversary. You can't just not do something. Come on, Warren. Come on, Bobby.
How do you know I'm not working on something right now, Mitch?
Well, you could be. Yeah, it says in July 83, Ratt signed with the Time Coast Music. So, okay, July 83. That's perfect. That's a summer point in the, so 2023, July summer tour, 40th anniversary. All right.
Got it all figured out, my friend.
Yeah, and Mitch and I will come on the road and we'll MC every night. We'll do the intro.
Yeah.
That's right.
The party's going. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting for the call.
I'm in.
That's right. And we'll get Poison to open once again.
Oh my God!
And we're giving them no lights. They get no lights.
Yeah.
If I get a gold record, yeah.
I love it. So when are these 2 CDs coming out? Do we have a release date in mind, or
it's gonna be probably mid 2022? We're pretty aggressive in the studio, so
cool.
Yeah. And I have it locked in for distribution, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Steven, it was so cool to meet you tonight. You're an absolute legend. This was an absolute highlight to chat with you. And so thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Mitch, good talking again, brother.
You too. Yeah, absolutely. Do this anytime. Let's go. Let's get a show up here in Canada. Let's go. Bring them up here.
Yep, you got it.
Bonsoir, as we say.
Bonsoir.
Au revoir. Cheers.
Done. Perfect. All right. We're done recording.